As Ika stepped out of the adventurer's emporium, her mind buzzed with the possibilities that lay ahead. The weight of the dorite pouch at her side filled her with a sense of newfound confidence, and she set off into the winding alleyways of Heliodor, her gaze fixed on the horizon. The streets bustled with activity as merchants hawked their wares from colorful stalls, their voices blending into a cacophony of sound. Ika navigated through the throngs of people, her eyes scanning the storefronts for a glimpse of the shop she sought. Finally, she spotted it, a modest establishment tucked away between two towering buildings. Its sign, weathered and faded, bore the words Steelhaven Armory in bold, chipped letters. With a sense of anticipation, Ika pushed open the creaking door and stepped inside. The interior of Steelhaven Armory was dimly lit, the air heavy with the scent of oil and metal. Rows of weapons lined the walls, glinting softly in the muted light. Armor stood on display on wooden mannequins, their polished surfaces reflecting the flickering torches that lined the shop. Ika approached the counter, where a burly man with a grizzled beard stood waiting. He regarded her with a curious expression, his eyes narrowing as he took in her ragged clothing and determined expression. "Welcome to Steelhaven," he rumbled, his voice deep and gravelly. "What can I do for you, lass?" Ika met his gaze with a determined nod. "I'm looking to purchase some new gear," she replied, her voice steady despite the nervous flutter in her chest. "I have coin to spend." The shopkeeper's eyes lit up at the mention of coin, and he motioned for Ika to follow him as he led her through the aisles of weapons and armor. She followed eagerly, her heart pounding with anticipation. They stopped before a display of finely crafted weapons, each one gleaming with deadly promise. The shopkeeper picked up a small rapier, its blade slender and sharp, and handed it to Ika for inspection. "This here's the Fong," he explained, his voice tinged with pride. "Perfect for a quick and nimble fighter like yourself, and if you're looking for something with a bit more bite." He gestured towards a short sword resting nearby, its edge honed to a razor-sharp edge. Ika's eyes widened in awe as she took in the sight of the weapons before her. Each one seemed to hum with latent power, a silent testament to the skill of the craftsman who had forged them. But it was the armor that truly caught her eye, a suit of sleek, leather armor adorned with intricate etchings and engravings. The shopkeeper explained that it was enchanted with protective wards, offering both style and substance to its wearer. With a sense of determination, Ika made her selection, choosing the rapier, the short sword, and the suit of leather armor. She also selected a small round shield, its surface polished to a mirror-like sheen. The shopkeeper watched her approach with a knowing smile, his eyes twinkling with amusement. "Ah, quite the discerning eye you have, lass," he remarked, nodding approvingly at the weapons and armor she held, his own handiwork evident in each piece. "And it seems my sharp eye has served you well in selecting just the right gear." Ika returned his smile, her heart pounding with excitement. "Yes, I'm ready to make my purchase," she replied, her voice filled with determination. The shopkeeper rang up her items, tallying the total with practiced ease. "That will be 64 purple dorite for the rapier, 17 purple dorite for the short sword, 55 purple dorite for the suit of leather armor, and 9 purple, plus 40 red dorite for the small round shield," he stated, his voice as smooth as silk. As she reviewed the costs in her mind, Ika reflected on how she had started with 152 purple dorite and 2 red dorite. The rapier had set her back 64 purple dorite, the short sword 17 purple dorite, the leather armor 55 purple dorite, and the round shield 9 purple and 40 red dorite. 40 red dorite is equivalent to 4 purple dorite. With each transaction, she felt the weight of her diminishing funds, but the investment in her gear filled her with a sense of determination and readiness for the challenges ahead. Ika's heart sank slightly as she thought about the total. She quickly calculated the sum in her head again and felt a wave of relief wash over her. After the purchase, she had 3 purple dorite and 2 red dorite left. It wasn't much, but at least she had enough for the purchase. With a grateful nod to the shopkeeper, Ika gathered her newly acquired gear, her hands trembling with excitement. "Thank you," she said softly before turning towards the back of the shop where a changing room awaited. In the small, dimly lit chamber, Ika carefully removed her old, worn garments, setting them aside with a sense of finality. Then, with a mixture of anticipation and nervousness, she began to don the pieces of her new armor. The leather felt supple against her skin, its scent mingling with the musty air of the room. One by one, she fastened the straps and buckles, ensuring each piece fit snugly against her frame. With practiced movements, she adjusted the rapier and short sword at her waist, feeling the weight of their hilts against her hip. Lastly, she secured the small round shield to her back, the polished surface reflecting her determined expression as she gazed at herself in the small mirror. It was a modest ensemble compared to the gleaming suits of armor and ornate weapons she had seen in the shop, but it was hers, a testament to her resilience and determination. Satisfied with her appearance, Ika stepped out of the changing room, her heart lighter than it had ever been. For the first time, she was adorned in armor and garments that she had purchased with her own hard-earned coins, a stark contrast to the discarded rags she had once scavenged from the streets. With a newfound confidence coursing through her veins, she strode purposefully back to the front of the shop. As she approached the counter, Ika caught the shopkeeper's eye and offered him a grateful smile. "Thank you," she said, her voice filled with genuine appreciation. "Your assistance has been invaluable." The shopkeeper returned her smile, his eyes crinkling at the corners with warmth. "It was my pleasure," he replied, his voice gentle. "And I must say, that armor suits you splendidly. You wear it as if it were made for you." A flush of pride tinged Ika's cheeks at his compliment. "Thank you," she murmured, feeling a swell of confidence at his words. It was a small gesture, but it bolstered her spirits more than she could have imagined. With a final nod of gratitude, Ika turned and made her way towards the door, her steps light and purposeful. She had her armor, her weapons, and a newfound sense of determination burning within her. With these tools at her disposal, she felt ready to take on whatever challenges awaited her in the world beyond.